to you by our sponsors: William Richmond Inc., Farmers Home and Auto Insurance, the Bobkowski Agency, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNeil's Group Properties, Chesapeake's Bounty, Buddy Lee Landscaping and Contracting, LLC, Chesapeake Plastics, the Charleston Senior Community, and R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning. Now, here's a weather alert update from JB Weather.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Forecaster John Bordash, back with you in the Storm Center this morning, right after 7 o'clock, sitting at 7:07, and we are continuing to track our winter storm. Lots of updates to give you this morning. Forecast is definitely changing. We thought it might, and we are seeing some aspects of what I talked about yesterday coming to fruition. Some new aspects are really coming into play as well. So let's just break it all down. This is a live look right now out in Leonardtown, where Route 5 meets 243 for you. I've seen some cars on this camera, taking it slow, obviously, because we have a decent amount of sleet across the area. But we are looking at a little bit of a dry slot moving through right now, which is some good news. But as we continue to take you around the region, taking you on over to Nanjemoyne, this is going to be at where 344 meets 224 in northern parts of Nanjemoyne, getting near Indian Head. You can see we do have some sleet accumulation now on the roadways. You can see that kind of right over here. That isn't snow. Well, you see snow out here. This is mainly sleet that we're seeing out here. Taking it on up towards Brandywine, you can see sleet accumulation there on the shoulders, where you have less traveled parts of the road, and we're looking at some traffic, but it's generally pretty slow. Taking back down here into St. Mary's County, this is Lexington Park, 235, 237, right where 3 Notch Road meets Chancellor's Run Road. And traffic is out there. Things look to be moving all right this morning, but we are looking at some snow-covered roadways, some sleet-covered roadways, some icy conditions. This is a look over towards Chesapeake Beach here. So this is 260 at Cox Road. This is not a very good camera because they literally just put in at the roadway, but you can see even where you can see a little bit of sand, some salt, and sleet over this way. I believe that we're looking at, I believe St. Mary's County schools have now closed. I believe Charles County is closed. Calvert County is virtual. PG County is closed. Again, I would definitely reference your school district for actual information on what this means for you today. But I do know schools are impacted, and I'm sure, you all I don't think you all need me to tell you about that. But what I can do is take a live inside radar quickly. And I thought I got this loaded up beforehand, but I didn't. But as we take a look at radar right now, something that probably stands out to you most as you zoom in here to southern Maryland. Right now we have, this dry slot that's kind of worked into our region, which is some good news. This will help to cut back on those sleet totals because, even though sleet is not freezing rain, it is definitely still very difficult to drive in. And I'm sure if you've gone up Route 4 today, Route 5, Route 6, 235, 301, Route 2, any of our area roadways, especially earlier this morning when we were looking at bouts of maybe some moderate to heavy sleet, this is not fun stuff to drive in, but this dry slot has worked in, and if I put radar into motion for you here, moving forward, or moving back over the last couple hours, you see sleet moves in, but we've seen this dry slot work in here from the south and east, and we've seen this be the story much of today, coming over to this version of radar. It really gives you more of a holistic view. You see, we have multiple dry slots. We're talking about one kind of right here in our region. We have another one that's bigger down here towards the Richmond metro area, and everything here is streaming from northwest to southeast, so it wouldn't surprise me if we even get in on some of this down here as we are currently dealing with this. So I think this will be something that we're talking about through much of the morning, really. We're going to look at periods of sleep, periods of freezing rain, and this will help to bring down those ice accumulation totals. My forecast never called for a huge snow event here in southern Maryland, and I don't think really anyone, aside from areas like maybe Waldorf, Brandywine, on up towards Annapolis, have really seen much snow. A lot of the region has seen a decent amount of sleet, and its southern zones getting in on some freezing rain as well. We're looking at dry slots working in, which we referenced yesterday could happen. And some of the newest data, and I'll show you here, shows, I want to take you over here. Bear with me. I know this is very hard to watch. Oh, of course, because why would that work? We'll stay here. I'll just let you all see what I'm doing. We'll take a look at some of our future cast models to kind of let's time things out for you. So this is the latest run of this model. And this model initializes every hour with new data. You can see right off the bat, I mean, it tries to show where you have lighter precip, kind of, but I mean, so it's not doing that great of a job showing where we currently have dry slots. We do know that they exist, though, and where we do see precip, we see that it is largely sleet, which I think is correct. But what this model does is continues to show periods of sleet move through. Actually, I want to take this back to the earlier one, because this will get us a full 18 hours. I mean, in this model, I mean, it shows snow up here, but even this would be mixing with sleet. Decent amount of sleet in our region. That is exactly what this color represents here, this salmon. This is mainly sleet, a little bit of freezing rain down to the south, but mainly sleet with the amount of, I mean, we're cold here at the surface, which helps with that, or doesn't help with that. But what you start to notice as we head over towards about, this is noon, by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, what we're seeing is this system starts to really kind of like dry itself out a little bit, where we're looking at a break in the activity really move into the region. I mean, we have some spotty areas of freezing rain that are left over as the system pulls off this way, but we're really looking at things beginning to calm down. So if I can take you, let's, oh, no. Awesome. That's just, I'm on a blank screen here. So I think the biggest sort of takeaway right now is that, you know, we have sleet in some dry slots, but if we see precip, we're looking at sleet. And again, we have some dry slots, just so people know that we are talking about that right now. This will continue from about now. So right now we sit at around 7 a.m. through probably about 12 to 2 p.m. And I know that that is a little hard to read. So just to rewrite that for you, we're looking at this stuff right now between about 7 a.m. and let's call it 1 p.m. just to have a concise time for you. That is when we're talking about sleet. After that point, we will transition to more of, you know, a break almost in the activity. Ooh, that's what I get for writing fast. You all know that should be an E. My mind just, we're rolling this morning. We'll see a break in the activity work into our region as we head into the afternoon, into the evening hours. And it'll be a little bit more spotty, taking it back over to Futurecast, and it really does show that pretty well, I think. Again, so this would take you right around 2 o'clock as we head over towards 3 and 4 o'clock. I mean, do we have precip around? Yes, that's streaming through, but it is more spotty, and that is a development we've been talking about the last couple of days. However, we will continue to see, or we have seen overnight, that models really latching onto this idea, and I would buy this. Carrie's wanting to know, should the evening commute be okay? No. I mean, will you have precipitation falling? I mean, potentially. I mean, maybe. But, I mean, temperatures barely get above freezing today, so you're going to have slick roadways, I think. So no. I still would not recommend travel. You just need to scroll down the Facebook or Twitter pages to see that. I'm still not recommending travel for much of the day. And I'm sure, I mean, this was never really forecasted to be a snow event for our region. I think I made that pretty perfectly clear. And I think we've seen that kind of come to fruition. This is much more of an ice event for our region from the sleet and freezing rain. And as we continue to push this forward here, getting close to about 6 o'clock, getting towards 7 and 8. Again, maybe we see it take up in activity, but it's still more spotty in coverage, not so much widespread. So that's, you know, what we're looking at this morning. Lots of people want to know about roadways in their specific community. I do not have traffic cameras in every nook and cranny of Southern Maryland. What I can show you, and I can try to right now, is kind of like what I have access to. Let's stretch you down towards Callaway. I mean, you see slow travel here, by and large, and roadways would look mainly just wet, but we know that there's sleet and freezing rain out there, so we know that travel conditions are not going to be prime. I mean, and this is the case throughout the region. You can get a good idea of that just looking at radar. Let's see, Charles County State and County roads are horrible, not even touched. And I would believe that. I mean, it's hard to keep up with this kind of stuff. Taking on over towards 231 and the Benedict Bridge, very limited travel. I mean, you're going to see some cars kind of come down the pike here, but not much going on. Taking it back down towards St. Mary's County, this is taking it, again, this is 3-notch road at Chancellor's Run, if memory serves correct. I mean, you're seeing some travel, but I mean, it's not much, and you can see where we're getting a little bit of sleet accumulation. And even as we head up north, I mean, if we take you over towards Brandywine, I mean, this is very evident, where you see the sleet accumulation. And this isn't just happening on up towards Brandywine. This is happening all over the place, and that's what we're talking about. 234 to Lexington Park. I don't know if I have a camera for that. I can get you 235 at 4, and I can get you 235 at 237. Again, I won't be able to show you exactly like where you are all the time, but this is a look at on over towards Andrews. I mean, and this shows, I mean, where on those shoulders where you have not as much activity, you're not looking at much in the way of I mean, you're looking at issues, because we're looking at sleet accumulating in these less traveled parts of the road, and this is starting to spill over into our roadways as the sleet continues. Taking on over towards Annapolis, you can see a salt truck working away here, one over here. Again, I don't know if we should really be going like maybe around these, maybe stay behind. I mean, I would recommend that. And a huge thank you to our plow drivers, power line workers, first responders that all need to work in this postal office, people, because this is some fun stuff to work in. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these, plows out this morning. And again, Southern Maryland does not have very many traffic cameras, so I can't show you everything. I mean, this is the only camera in Calvert County. This is Chesapeake Beach, and it's a pretty, I mean, there goes a plow there. It's almost like they know we're coming to them. I mean, this is 260 at Cox Road. This really just looks at the road, but I mean, you can see here on the road we're looking at sleet accumulation at this intersection, and even over towards Nanjemoy we can see that. I mean, you see the sleet accumulation here on the road. So this is what we're looking at by and large across much of the region. Should this be cleared up tomorrow morning? I'm seeing as a comment that just got asked. I mean, I would refer you to earlier forecast. Check out jbweather.net. You'll get all the information there from yesterday's forecast from what you could expect for tomorrow. Some lingering areas of ice could potentially linger into tomorrow morning. So do keep that in mind. Precip should cut off tomorrow morning between about 5 and 10 a.m. Road conditions will probably still be impacted. I can't tell you, will St. Mary's County schools be closed tomorrow? I can't answer that right now, but, you know, I think that's what we're talking about. So I would expect delays as you head out today and probably tomorrow, and I really wouldn't suggest much travel. I know a lot of things are closed today, and honestly, I mean, I feel like people need this specifically said, don't go out and travel if you don't need to. I mean, we're in the middle of a winter storm. Whether or not we see, 7 inches of snow or, a whole bunch of sleet or ice, just stay inside. I mean, I think it's kind of common knowledge. I mean, just stay inside, maybe bake a little bit, watch a movie, stay tuned to JB Weather for the latest. I'll keep you updated at Facebook, where I think all but one of you are watching right now. Twitter as well, at JB_weather. Instagram, JB Weather, or at JB Weather. So, we'll continue to keep you updated. Let's see, Christina, if we have to go out today, when might be the best time to do it? Maybe this evening. But, I mean, even still, I mean, temperatures today will not really get above freezing. So we won't look anything. I mean, this stuff out here, it's not like it's going to melt away. It's just going to harden. We're going to look at slick spots all day. And this kind of, I mean, I think this image here in Nanjemoy gives you a really good idea of what to expect on area roads. Are they snow covered? No. I mean, are they drivable? By and large, yes. But the issue is you have these pockets of sleet, especially in the shoulders, especially in intersections that are not always traveled. And we're seeing that not just on secondary roads, we're seeing that on main roads. And we've gotten plenty of reports, like someone earlier was saying they drove Route 4 from Leslie to Dunkirk. That entire drive was difficult, especially as they headed north of Prince Frederick. So that, I think, will continue to be the main story today, is that we're talking about these some sleet on area roads. We're talking about and we're talking impacted travel, and that'll continue to be the some of the big headlines I think today. We have a snow emergency plan in effect for PG County right now. That's the only county locally that has one. And even there, it's not necessarily because of snow. It's more so because of sleet. Taking it back on over here into radar, and I want to hop off Futurecast, hop back in here to radar. I mean, you can see even just as we've talked, this dry slot continues to kind of move around and reconfigure itself a little bit. Where initially, we see it when we came on, you see it was down here, down towards southern Charles, parts of St. Mary's County. As we moved this forward, right? I mean, then it came right over parts of like Prince Frederick and Mechanicsville and Waldorf, and now it's moved into parts of southern Anne Arundel, southern PG. We're still looking at sleet down here to the south, though. And I know that a lot of this is registering as snow. We know, that is not snow. Taking over here to see what's similar, what is dissimilar in the atmosphere. You see a lot of different colors. That tells you that things are very dissimilar. I mean, I can't even draw a sleet line now because all of it is sleet. I mean, everywhere is looking at sleet. If you want to take a screenshot of something, that is something to take a screenshot of. That is the current weather for you right now. Sleet. So do keep that in mind as you head out. We'll see periods of sleet. We'll go from, and again, some of you are seeing a dry slot right now, so maybe you're not even seeing sleet. But when you do see precip, it will be sleet, taking it back over to normal radar. I mean, you can see that here. Even taking it out of winter mode, it really gives you an idea. This is an area that's not seeing much, and then where you see these yellows down here, these are heavier bouts of sleet. I mean, as you head down here and over here, and this is all moving this way, so that dry slot that we have across the region, that will gradually begin to work out. So, but we'll continue to see dry slots across the region. If we come back over here, take you to more of a regional view of radar. I mean, we have more dry slots down here to the south. I mean, this is a very poorly looking. This is a poor looking system, and I would even point that sleet line as far north as right around here. So much of the Mid-Atlantic down south, this is an icy mix of sleet and freezing rain. And this will continue to move through the region. So that's what we'll be talking about. Mary says, I hope we get a break soon. I actually have class at 8 o'clock this morning, so I want to get one of these live updates out beforehand. That class ends at 9:15. My next class doesn't start till 9:30, so we'll probably do another live update, my little 15-minute break there. And because we're on Zoom all semester, I get to do this. I can do these live updates in between, and that class goes until about 10:45. But even when I'm getting out of class, I was like, oh, great, I have all afternoon to track the weather. There might not be much to track after about 12. So do keep that in mind, that, and I'll put a post up so those that that aren't able to join, or you need to recap, you're able to get an idea. But as we take what's going on, but I mean, our current area of low pressure sits generally about here, right? Just mark that L. And where do I think it's going to be moving? I mean, it's moving up in this direction. So what that is doing is that it is taking warm air in the upper levels off the ocean, off our coastal waves, throwing it in. At the same time, we are looking at cold air trying to funnel down. So that is why we're looking at an icy mix really focused right in our region, because it's kind of a battle we're talking about. So that's what we're talking about today. So do keep that in mind. Again, I would expect at least a little bit of clearing today as we head over towards, I would say, between about 12 and probably about 2 p.m. to start to see some breaks in the activity. I mean, and we can see that on display here. We have all these different dry spots down here, and this is systems all working like that. So we'll look at these breaks in the activity, move in here between about 12 and 2. So just be aware of that. But that's pretty much all I have for you. I think I'm just on like a broken record now just going over the same thing. So I'll have a post up here in a little bit to kind of walk you through this and give you an image of radar, almost probably this exact same image, and let you know what we're looking at. So stay tuned. I will continue to keep you updated. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Again, stay inside today, bake some cookies, You can watch a movie, and tune in here to JB Weather. I will continue to keep you updated, give you coverage for Southern Maryland that you're not going to find, I think, really anywhere else. So stay tuned, and I'll continue to keep you updated. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Forecaster John Bordash.